What up, though, Lions fans? The Detroit Lions make two moves on day two so far. There's still a slight possibility that they could trade up, but for right now, I'm going to give you guys what the Detroit Lions did. We take an offensive lineman, we take a wide receiver, and they both are absolute studs. Let's talk about it.
Hey, King paying for gas.
All right, Lions fans, so let's talk about it. Two studs today. Detroit Lions go and get an O-lineman. We needed some depth at O-line and a receiver. Obviously, we need a receiver for the future, a big body receiver, because J-Mo's a speedster. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a slot guy. We needed that big receiver to come in so we won't have to keep signing one-year deals for guys like Tim Patrick, who we all love. So they do that there in this draft. I'm probably sure a lot of us are saying, well, we wanted an edge rusher at some point in this draft. Well, obviously Brad Holmes has something planned, and we just got to let him do what he do. As I stated on social media in the statement, and as I said on my previous stream, I'm no longer going to give my input into what we should be doing or my opinion on that. I'm just going to report what the Detroit Lions do, and if it works out, fine. If it doesn't work out, then I'll report that to you. That's just where I am today. Edge rusher is a very important position for this team that we feel, but obviously in Brad Holmes' eyes, it's not as urgent as a lot of the fan base feels. So, we'll see what happens with that situation. To me, the only sense that I can make out of it today, not going to get an edge rusher at any point so far, is the fact that you may possibly still bring back players like Zadarius Smith. So that's where I'm at with it mentally. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about offensive line right now. We go and get a dog out of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Ratledge is, 729 possessions, pass possessions, man, and only one sack. That's typical Lions type of offensive lineman right there. When you look at guys like Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow, those are some of the same things that you've seen with those guys coming out of college. He's a big guy that can move, and he's powerful. He's athletic. We have probably the most athletic offensive line in the league now. Absolute stud. And if it's those winning teams out of college, Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, and Ohio State, if you're a national champion, you can bet we coming to get somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's the blood of Brad Holmes. He likes to go and get some of these guys out of these programs because they're the most ready to play. And, if you're good at those levels, that means you put the work in already. You cut the job in half when you start to look at some of those teams, because in order to be the best, you have to work hard to do that. And you save yourself a lot of time. So, but we go and get a dog from Georgia, man. And obviously, we seen guys like Glasgow struggle at moments, and we needed somebody at guard for the future. And this is it. This is what this pick is. So you really can't argue with that. You know what I'm saying? At some point in the draft, we knew we were going to do that. And we decided to go at that point. So I have no quarrel against the pick whatsoever. He's an absolute stud. But for the next fella, I actually like this pick. And I've put the edge rusher thing out of my head. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a receiver at heart. I might not be the slender little kid I was when I played football, but I'm still a receiver at heart, and I love receiver, man. And, TeSlaa is, man, 4'4", 6'4", great hands. We got ourselves our own little Puka Nacua, man. That's he got hands, man. He can catch, he can play. He can go up and fight for those footballs, man. That's what we needed. That's what we needed on this offense. That was the only missing two pieces to me on this offense. That was the only two missing pieces. You have finished the offense to me now. We are done. So, you know, like I said, picking up the options of Hutch and Jameson Williams today. So glad they did that to shut up a lot of the stupid talk that was going on around here in the city and on these networks. It's relieving. But you went and got yourself a dog. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to see him get out there on the field and battle, man, because, you know, our corner's going to have a time trying to cover this dude. Because, like I say, he's not only big, but he's fast. So that's going to be a battle. Terrion Arnold was the one that brung him out, man, and he did it in fashion, man. Take a look at this.
You know, 1 year ago on this weekend, I cried because I thought I was going to be a Packer. But the Kings of the NFC North came and saved me. Detroit, baby, one prime.
Wow.
Yeah. So you heard the Packers fans laughing at first. You know what I'm saying? They was cheering at first and laughing. And then they immediately got quiet. He shut them down quickly. Terrion is a character, man. He's a character, man. He's a Detroit Lion to heart, man. So shout out to him for doing a great job up there on stage. But like I said, there's still a lot of room for a lot of trades to happen. And if Brad Holmes can trade back into, these rounds here tonight and possibly grab somebody, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I know a lot of us wanted guys like Josiah Stewart, as a Raku, Scorton, Sawyer's still a guy that's out there for, anybody that's not Ohio State biased. There's still some possibilities. We'll take a look and we'll keep our eyes open. But in the meantime, I need you guys to go and pop in the film on those two guys. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. So on day 2, a little bit better. And when you take the edge rusher out the equation, you understand these picks a little bit more. The cloudiness kind of leaves your head. You know what I'm saying? So the man he says he has a plan. Let's see what that plan is. But if we don't address it and we go into the regular season without addressing it, and if guys like Zadarius Smith is not back on his team, then you have a valid argument. But for right now, these are the first stages of the real off season. Let's just let him do what he do. Until then, leave it in the comment section, smash the like button for your boy, and share this video on social media. Whatever you guys think about this draft, I'm interested to hear it in the comment section. Like I said, last night was a little bit different. Real quick, y'all just have to understand this. I brung it up on my stream. The issue was never the player. We know he's an absolute beast. He's a stud. It was the scenario that you're seeing tonight. You could have took an earlier edge rusher to contribute and be a starter on this team, but now we're at a point where we're bringing in an edge rusher that's going to be most likely more like a project guy. So that was the complaint. It was where we took him. And you seen defensive tackles start to go in the middle of the second round, just like I was explaining to you guys. So just wanted to make that note. It was never nothing against Tyleik Williams as a player. It was just the way we did those things. But those opinions are going out the window. Like I said, I'm done with that. I'm stepping aside with that. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, I don't want you guys to paint me as some type of villain. Because at this, after all of the content that I've done in a positive manner, even in the darkest time with the Lions, to me, that would be considered kind of disrespectful. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great night. And I might be back on here. Keep your eyes open. Things happen fast in this league. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.